Hey guys, welcome back to CALLOUS Crew Challenge. This is an exciting match, one of the highlights of the round. Not sure what to expect here. It is going to be friend of Mr. Golem120, who everybody respects and think is a fantastic player because he is. But he's known as a Gen 1 and 2 guy. He has incredible results in those gens. Gen 3, no idea. Never seen him play it. He himself says that he only really gets it on like a surface level and doesn't really play it. But he's such a good player that maybe he's going to be good anyway. Oh man, it's hard to know what to expect. But we certainly know what to expect from his opponent. Altina had a killer year last year, including third place in CALLOUS Invitational 5. Really on a tear and one of the best ADV players these days. Certainly, according to the chat and just according to basic sense, would be the favorite here, right? Guy who plays all the time and is a CALLOUS Invitational 5 money winner versus somebody who doesn't even really play the tier. That being said, Altina does need to win this because Team Shady Mofos, that's Fomog's team, they did win the first game of this series, which was Empo over TJ. So should Fomog lose here, they'll go to a decisive match between Sprinkles and XCal in Gen 5, whereas if Fomog is to pull off a pretty big upset here, let's just call it what it is, if he were to win, and it would be quite the upset, then Team Shady Mofos would simply win the series 2-0, and Team The Mad Pat, which is Altina, XCal, and TJ, would be out of the tournament. So, game one of their best of three. ADV action coming up. Fomog, friend of Mr. Golem120 on the bottom. Altina on the top. Metagross lead, getting an immediate crit. Hey, maybe that's the play. Better lucky than good. Let's get attack raises. Altina went to Starmie to check the meta. And we have a Sing Bliss coming down. So immediately I go, it's either an Asta squad or a Linear squad, because those were the two that back in the day were very, very spammy with the Sing Bliss. And there's no way that Fomog built in this tier. He just didn't. So he totally looked up and/or recreated teams from somewhere. And certainly Asta or Linear would be two really, really good people to rip a team from if that's what you're doing. Hasn't gotten there with the Sing yet, but like, would it really matter on the Starmie? Doesn't seem like a big deal. Here comes Bliss. Ice Beam against Celebi now. Leech Seed connecting to make this Blissey probably have to switch out. That Leech Seed misses, however, as T-Tar comes in, put a little pressure on. Shows itself to be a special Tar, or at least partially. It could have Brick Break or Focus Punch or what have you. But he's shown Crunch and Fire Blast. Doesn't mean he doesn't have HP Grasp, but he hasn't shown it. And he doesn't show it again here. He goes Crunch again. 49%, pretty hefty though after that Specs drop. This Crunch, not that exciting against Altina's T-Tar. And out of the way he goes. However, he's going to blank EQ on an incoming Mence. And insult to injury gets the Intimidate off. Mence shows itself to be physical with Earthquake. Starmie's the check, and it's going to go back to 100% after the recover on the switch as Starmie comes in. And by Starmie, I mean Blissey. Blissey against Celebi now. We know that the Celebi has Leech Seed. We had seen that before. Going to play it safe and recover, of course. And there's Ice Beam. Leech Seed probably coming now, but he might recover again. There's a window for a crit kill, but doesn't get it. And Celebi very likely going to recover here. Nope. Going to anticipate a switch and go for Leech Seed. That works as well. Connects with Meta. And there is a switch to Mag. I believe this is an Asta team. Looking at it, pretty familiar with it. I believe this is an Asta Matitos squad. And Sing does connect this time, and it's not one of the natural cure pokes in the Starmie and the Celebi. He's going to connect with a relevant target in the Tyranitar. Last Mon Gyra ends up against a fellow Intimidate Mon, Salamence, who's got the edge of the Intimidate. He goes straight Rock Slide, not messing around. Wouldn't have done a lot to meta, but it does miss. Switches it up to EQ. And eats a crit Meteor Mash and an attack raise. The perfect mash for Fomog. Both the crit and the raise. Exactly what he needs. And it's the first knockout of the series going the way of Fomog. Leech Seed and Meteor Mash Hefty damage, of course, since it was attack raised. And there's recover. 56%, not messing around. Thank God he's got that leech seed to keep him safe, huh? Toxic and S-Toss, sure. Blissy's been pretty good here defensively. But yeah, Mag is just going to sub up and milk it. I mean, Bliss is going to have to switch eventually. The Toxic is really adding up at this point. And we get Mag on Mag. One's much lower than the other, but he is behind a sub. HP Fire and T-Bolt. It's actually going to be Fomog who dies here unless it's a speed tie and he gets the win. But it appears that Altina is simply faster, so Fomog actually gives up his Magneton there, which is not the end of the world. It didn't seem that exciting in the matchup given the current state of the game. So it leaves us in a 5-5, and Fomog clicking Dragon Dance on the Protect turn is huge. So huge, in fact, that Altina is going to concede. How about that? Game 1 victory to Fomog, largely considered a heavy underdog here. Like I said, someone who doesn't really even play the tier against one of today's top players who just made 3rd place in CALLOUS Invitational 5 last year. It's only one game. Let's not hit the panic button yet. But man, impressive play by Fomog for a non-ADV guy against a very competent opponent. Fomog going to take game 1, and Altina now is going to need to win 2 in a row, or his team, the Mad Pat, is going to be eliminated by Shady Mofos without their 3rd match even needing to play. Let's get into it. Here's game 2. Players in the same positions as before. It's Fomog, FriendOfMisterGolem120, on the bottom against Altina, and I don't want to upset my cat next to me and make fake puking noises, but I want to, because that Pokemon sucks. That is a flavor of the month thing that like 3 people in the stupid ADV cord are trying to tell you is good. Don't believe the hype. Fake news. Roselia sucks. Thing is so bad. Yeah, it learns spikes. It learns a sleep move. That's cool. It's still really, really bad. And there, like I said, there's like 3 or 4 guys in that one friend group who want to tell you that it's good and think that it's funny when they promote bad mons and try to win with flair and with style or whatever. It stinks. It blows. It sucks. All of the above. Not a fan. So we'll see what it does this game. I'm going to predict the same thing as most games, which is a whole lot of nothing. But there is a Roselia. Let's not get too far behind. We have double Trapper for Fomog with Lax, so this might be like an all-in on Lax kind of team. This also might be that team that Elo Reaper, Ladder Reaper, whatever, topped the ladder with a little while back. It would have a Pursuit Tar and a Doll in the back. If it's that squad, which it very well might be, it's got this Rest Talk Lax here that only has normal moves, which is why the Pursuit Tar is necessary, because you don't touch Gar at all. Otherwise, this Rest Talk Lax is losing to the Rest Talk Coon, though. What needed to happen is right there on that turn, he needed to get either a crit or a para, but having gotten neither, this is a bit awkward. Now, granted, he would have been in pretty good shape had he gotten one or the other, but having not gotten it, I think that Fomog is pretty behind. That does not kill, but the Sand does, which is pretty relevant here. The Doll is not that exciting in this matchup for Altina because the last mon is not a spiker for Fomog, like I said. I believe it is a Pursuit Tar in the back. Roselia dies to a neutral Earthquake from 100% without doing anything. It got no spikes down. It didn't get a Sleep Powder off. It got a Stun Spore off once. What a cool poke. And that leaves us in a 3-3. It is Pursuit Tar, so it is the team that I thought it was. That dude as, again, Elo Reaper, Ladder Reaper, whatever the alt was, used this team to get to the top of ladder a little while back. It's a good squad that I respect quite a bit. But it seems to have some issues with this modest Crocoon. In fact, I think this game is effectively over. Lax would have to come in at the perfect time. It would have to be on a rest, and then Kuhn would have to never find Surf in his sleep, and even then you're going to need crits or what have you. That'll certainly end the game. Sleep Talk finding Surf is going to kill the Lax, going to leave us with only Milo. Milo will never, ever beat this Kuhn. It will easily be PP stalled out if we go through the motions. I'm going to go ahead and hit hyper fast in case he does opt to go through the motions here. Certainly his prerogative to play it out, but we are going to a game 3 here. There's just no way that the Milotic can ever beat this Kuhn. It can't ever kill it, and it can't ever beat it PP-wise. And then there's also 2 other pokes in the back for Altina. The doll may have boom, it may not, but the PP war is inevitable. We're going to a game 3. Surprised Fomog's playing it out. Might be like an honor thing of, oh, I don't want to concede when, I have teammates. I'd be letting them down. I want to play it out, whatever. You can't win. If I'm his teammate, I'm not mad if he concedes here. It's not winnable. It's not even like you have a 1% chance or whatever. If you have a 1% chance, you better fucking play it out and play for that 1% chance. It's actual 0 in this case, and he does go through the motions rather than concede, but the outcome is and was inevitable. Altina's going to take this one and force a game 3. So I'm going to remind you one more time of the stakes. Altina for the Mad Pat with XCal and TJ must win game 3 in order to keep his team alive and send it to a decisive 3rd match, which is black-white between XCal and Sprinkles. Or, if Fomog wins for Team Shady Mofos, he's teammates with Empo and Sprinkles, he will simply win the series and his team will win 2-0. They'll go to the next round and the Mad Pat will be out. So that's it. 3rd and final game. Fomog on the bottom, Altina on the top. Skarm immediately spiking up, X2. And when Armaldo comes down, you can't see it in the replay, but in real time, Fomog takes a minute and a half before doing anything. Probably Google searching what the fuck Armaldo does. Not something I would expect him to know as a very casual at best Gen 3 player. Thunderbolt, Rock Slide respectively, that is stab, so obviously it's going to hurt. Out of the way he goes to Skarm, that gets knocked off, so no lefties for Fomog. Very well may matter for the rest of this battle. And there's Rock Slide again. Like I said, all the damage adds up because he doesn't have lefties. Rachi coming in at this point to a 40% flamethrower. And now Fire Punch fishing for a burn, which he's going to immediately get. That helps quite a bit. Articuno comes in. What an interesting team for Altina. Armaldo, Articuno, full stall here. Full stall. I do want to note that, even though he's using stupid Roselia in the previous game and Articuno in this game, Altina, if you know him at all, if you know his personality, is not the kind of player who's playing just to show off or, playing just to, just for clout or flair or whatever. He's playing to win. He's making these choices because he genuinely believes that they're good and genuinely believes that they're going to lead to his victory. In the case of Roselia, I certainly don't agree, though he did win that game, even though the Roselia did basically nothing. But I do want to not give the wrong vibe. I don't think Altina is trying to troll in any way. He's really trying to win. We just have different opinions on some mons. Articuno I really don't mind, especially on this kind of team. I fully understand looking at the team of Altina what this team is trying to do. I get it. It makes sense to me. This is a stall team that makes sense. The Articuno fills an important role here. It checks Celebi and Swampert very reliably. And it has pressure. It makes sense. On the flip side, a Superman team for Fomog, which might be an awkward matchup for Altina, because, he's very spikes reliant, right? He doesn't really have a lot of offensive pressure, which is the nature of, a full stall team. And Fomog's team really doesn't give a shit about spikes. At best, the last poke, if it's like a T-Tar or something, or a Swampert, that would be spikes vulnerable. I think Swampert or Flygon are the logical final poke for Fomog to have, but yet to be determined. Interesting match. This one, I think, is going to be the best, closest, and probably the longest one out of all 3. Bulky Rest Top Zap. It is really interesting. I respect that Fomog, as a non-ADV player, is totally willing to bust out a stall team in this third game. He's totally confident in his ability to pilot it and to not make mistakes and grind out and go to a long game. And we've opted for stall on stall here in game 3, which is pretty interesting. That is a big turn. Not only does he predict the Gengar and go for Psychic there, but he also crits it, which may or may not have mattered. I mean, it would have left the guy really, really low if it didn't kill. But there is no sand, so maybe the Gar could have hung on by the skin of its teeth. But yeah, that was a big, big Psychic and a big crit. That's going to make it obviously way harder for Fomog to keep his spikes down. I mean, the Armaldo goes down, so this game is still pretty close, but that was a big turn without a doubt. The Burnt Doll comes in. Nothing he can do here to stop Rapid Spin. Has to accept it. And you have to remember the two-part problem here. Not only is it difficult to keep spikes down, but the other part is that the Scarm got knocked off a while ago. It does not have lefties anymore, and that is quite relevant because it has limited opportunities to spike up. Every time it does spike, and it takes whatever in exchange, even if it's something unexciting, like an Ice Beam or hell, even a Rapid Spin, that damage is going to stay on permanently. Unless there is Wish, which, okay, Rachi does have Wish, so he can heal it in that way. But the no lefty is definitely relevant, especially now that the Gengar is not here to protect the spikes anymore. One of these things is not like the other, because one's got lefties. Arrow into Scarm is unusual. A lot of the time it's the other way around. Well, we know his CB move. Going to be Rock Slide. That's kind of unexciting back, Drill Peck, but is what it is. Yeah, I mean, normally Swampert or Doll would be the answer here. Both being Rock Resist, but they're both a little bit banged up. There's an opportunity right there for a crit or a flinch. Not only to mess up the Doll, but to prevent that Rapid Spin, but Fomog gets neither. Spike's coming down again, and Altina getting any chip on the opposing Scarm that he can get. Now he's going to drag out Rachi, all 3 layers down again for both players. Going to pass Wish somewhere, tries to pass it to himself, and Altina blows the opportunity to kill the Rachi. Had he roared there, Rachi would be dead to rights next time it comes in, and Fomog would no longer have the opportunity to Wish up. But Altina blows it and goes for Protect rather than Roar, and that bails Fomog out and brings him right back into this game. I liked Altina's position before that, and I probably still like it, but big missed opportunity there for Altina. Zapdos in as Swampert gets lower and lower. There's Roar. Not going to take advantage of spikes by bringing out Articuno. But Articuno super duper dead to Rock Slide. 4x weakness there. Never going to survive. Down that goes, and Fomog takes the lead in this crucial Game 3. Last poke is, in fact, Flygon. Flamethrower here, not that exciting, but he does switch it up to EQ as Blissey comes in, putting her in an awkward spot where she may or may not survive. And as it turns out, she doesn't. The domino's starting to go down for Altina, but he better figure this out because his team is eliminated if he can't pull this game out. There's a Whiff Protect for Fomog. Missed opportunity to Earthquake there. Ice Beam time. Getting desperate. Need freezes, need crits, need something. And there's yet another rest for the ever-resilient Zapdos. Scarm and Pert. Ice Beam coming down yet again. Here's the Doll trying to get itself healthy with lefties, but Toxic negating that. Psychic blanking. I mean, anything on Scarm adds up, but it's just not that exciting. And again, a lair gets reestablished. Protect on Earthquake. I guess the PP matters here. And now Zapdos in. That gets roared away after killing a sleep turn, and we end up Scarm on Scarm. And again, more layers. Protect, why not? Waste that Drill Peck PP. And he settles for 2 layers this time. Doesn't bother with the third, only to get roared out. Protects again, wasting another Drill Peck PP. And out of the way we go. Here's Claydol now. Back to Scarm. Rapid Spin. Undoing the progress with spikes, but the damage on Scarm adding up. And now he's got a drill peck. Protect and drill peck. There's spikes and drill peck again. Skym getting low for Fomog, but his Wisher is still alive if he needs to pass that. Flygon. And there's Protect again. There's Thunderbolt blanking on Dull. And now Flygon comes in to yet another Rapid Spin. Can't keep those spikes down. There is Toxic. There's Toxic again. Drill Peck not that exciting here. Just 18%. And he's got lefties and Protect, so not going too far. Toxic Drill Peck, sure. Toxic Drill Peck, sure. Flamethrower coming down on Skarm now. Hey, Flygon is getting a little bit low slowly but surely, but I mean, like right there, he missed the opportunity to Toxic the Pert, which, I mean, would have been a prediction. Easier said than done, but did have the chance and didn't capitalize on it there. I mean, really, Fomog is like one piece of hacks away from winning this game. All he has to do is either burn the Skarm or Toxic the Swampert, and I think Altina's in some real trouble. The Claydol can never heal because Toxic will always negate lefties. The Flygon is getting low for Fomog, so if Altina can kill it, then that's going to really drag out this game. But like I said, I mean, Altina has to tread so carefully and just walk on eggshells. He is one piece of hacks or great Fomog prediction away from victory. But I mean, there is a prediction opportunity there for Altina as well. Had he clicked Earthquake, he would have killed Rachi on the way in there. Again, it's very easy for me as the commentator outside looking in to say these things. In the moment, it's very hard to make these predictions when the consequences are dire if you're wrong. But there have been opportunities for both players. Skarm is clinging on to dear life at this point at just 25%, no lefties. Back to Flygon, sure. Claydol very low at 16%. Flamethrower, 10% burn, doesn't come. Skarm, Protect, nope. A lot of opportunities here. Flamethrower again, looking for a crit, looking for a burn. Flamethrower, still no. And drill peck down on Flygon, who's got himself with lefties back up into the green, even though he was a little bit lower before. Toxic! Right prediction, wrong result. Going to whiff. Altina dodges a bullet there. Toxic on Pert would be real bad. Flamethrower. Nope. A lot of chances. There's a whiff Protect. Let's look at PP at this point. 8 Toxics, 12 Flamethrowers. Man, what a god Altina would be if he somehow stalled out every Toxic and every Flamethrower without getting his Pert or his Skarm burnt or poisoned by either. That's what we're looking at here, and Altina so far has managed to do that. Can he somehow keep this up? There's the doll. Blanking Thunderbolt, but not much more. Flygon again. And Zapdos again. Flygon and Pert again. A lot of switching. Oh no! Are they both just switching indefinitely? Are we going for a draw here? Oh, it can't end like this. Hey, there's a non-switch. It's to Protect. Moving the game forward. Oh, there's Arrow. We haven't seen him in a while. Thunderbolt PP used. Okay. Blanking on Dull as it has been. Hey, a spike. And there's Arrow again, who's not going to stay in and die to a drill peck. Makes sense to me. There's Skarm. Toxic. Nope. Earthquake. Nope. Oh, man. If he actually pulls this off, if he stalls out every Flamethrower and every Toxic. No, there's a burn. And a roar, but that burn is huge. And he concedes. Altina knows it. Altina was playing to stall out every Toxic and every Flamethrower. And he put up a hell of an effort to do so. He didn't get all of them, but he got pretty damn far. But that being said, he was not able to get all of them. And as his Scarm gets burnt, he is going to concede. What a colossal upset. Friend of Mr. Golem, who dabbles in this tier at best, hardly plays it, is going to come in here and get the 2-1 victory over Callous Invitational 5, money-winning third-place finisher, Altina. And not only is Fomog going to get the upset, but that is going to eliminate Altina's team, the Mad Pat. The much-anticipated match between XCow and Sprinkles does not need to happen and will not happen. It is going to be Fomog and Empo taking care of business. Their team, Shady Mofos, going to be through to the round of 8, and the Mad Pat is eliminated. That was a very unexpected outcome. Arguably the biggest upset of the round. But Fomog gets it done. Fomog for CI6, anybody? For real. Great job, dude. Wildly impressed. I thought Fomog played really, really well for anybody. Never mind for somebody who doesn't even really play the tier. Wild to watch, but good on him. And he has earned himself the victory and earned his team a spot in the round of 8. As per usual, guys, thumbs up if you enjoy the video. Comment if you got something to tell me. Join the Discord server in the description. And if you want to donate, please feel free to do so. I don't keep any of the money, probably, and the players do. Alright, see you guys in the next video.